Aldi is like the world's biggest arcade game, because if you don't bring your own quarter, you won't be allowed to play. You're cruising through the aisles, tossing groceries into your cart, and feeling like you've got this whole grocery shopping thing figured out. But there's a catch. When you get to the checkout, it's like a frenzied sprint, and you've got to keep up. The conveyor belt moves quicker than your grandma chasing after a Black Friday deal. You find yourself in a race against time, trying to pack your groceries with the finesse of a Tetris champion, while your purchases stream at you faster and faster. But here's a secret that not everyone knows. There's actually a designated bagging area, conveniently located behind the checkout counters. Instead of trying to jam your food into bags in a frenzy during checkout, just put the checked items back in the cart and head over to the bagging area for a much more leisurely bagging experience. Not only does this method keep things moving at Aldi speed, but it also ensures that your eggs survive the journey, and your bread doesn't end up looking like it went through a WWE match. More than this, it's the way you're supposed to pack at Aldi, so the person at your checkout will thank you for following the rules and not holding up the line. Aldi is great in a lot of ways, but the checkout lines can be long. If you've ever found yourself standing in what seems like an eternal queue, you're not alone. The checkout lines at Aldi have a knack for testing the limits of your chill vibes. Just thinking about it might give you a touch of the Aldi anxiety. Managing the long lines at Aldi is just a part of the experience, a trade-off for the chain's low prices. But even though the line sometimes stretches down the aisles, it turns out they move along pretty fast. Faster, in fact, than most other grocery stores. The secret to these fast lines? You guessed it, it's those super speed conveyor belts. The fact that you're supposed to pack your items in the post-checkout bagging area may seem annoying at first, but it's actually part of the flow designed to speed up the checkout process for all these huge crowds. It's all about balance in the Aldi universe. At Aldi, free bags are like the unicorns of the shopping world, mythical creatures that you might catch a glimpse of if you're lucky. Forget about the days when stores showered you with free bags like confetti at a celebration. Nope, at Aldi, you're on your own in the bag department. Though it's true that the lack of free bags at Aldi can be a source of frustration, there are some solutions. The most obvious, of course, is to do what most Aldi veterans do: bring along your own reusable bags from home, which also helps the environment. But what happens if you decide to make an impromptu, unplanned stop at Aldi, or you simply forget to bring your own bags from home? Well, there are a couple options. Firstly, Aldi does have plastic and reusable bags available. You simply have to pay for them. If you want to avoid that fee, though, you have to risk filling your cart with loose groceries, which is why some Aldi shoppers have taken to simply leaving a stash of bags in their car at all times. Just keep them in your bag hutch.
Now there's new Bag Hutch. Bag Hutch is specially made for bags and holds up to 12 bags.
Welcome to the land of Aldi, where the hunt for name brands is like searching for a needle in a haystack. You navigate the aisles with a hopeful heart, scanning the shelves for familiar logos and iconic packaging, only to realize that at Aldi, it's all about exclusive house brands. Forget about your go-to cereal or trusty peanut butter. Here, it's a brave new world of Aldi originals. Around 90% of goods at Aldi are Aldi exclusive brands, making the search for your beloved national brands akin to a treasure hunt without a map. And while Aldi's exclusive brands are budget-friendly and often surprise you with unexpectedly good quality, like their Winking Owl wines, sometimes you just want well-known labels. So if you have a deep emotional connection to your favorite national brands, Aldi might throw you a bit of a curveball. It's a reminder that here, the spotlight shines on Aldi's own creations, and the big-name players are taking a back seat. Instead of getting put out, embrace the adventure. Try the Aldi exclusives, and who knows, you might just discover a new favorite.
If you think off-label equals off-quality, think again.
Shopping for fruits and veggies at Aldi is a bit like playing vegetable roulette. You might hit the jackpot, or you might feel like your salad dreams just got crushed. It's not that Aldi's produce section is bad, it's just a little more hit or miss than you might expect if you're used to shopping at other large grocery chains. You might stumble upon the crispiest apples or the juiciest oranges, but then again, you may run into wilted lettuce or be unable to find a ripe avocado. Shopping for produce at Aldi can be a bit of a gamble, and the stakes are high when you're planning a week's worth of meals. So what are your options? Some people choose to go to Aldi for ambient goods and even chilled and frozen items, but give the fruit and vegetable aisle a miss. Instead, you could go to another grocery store with a better reputation for produce, or even a local farmer's market. Otherwise, stay vigilant when buying your produce. Otherwise, you may get an unpleasant surprise when it's time to eat. And then there's Aldi's most infamously annoying quirk: The quarter. Heading to Aldi is an initiation into a world where shopping carts come with a price tag. You're ready to start your shopping trip when you realize you need a quarter deposit to rent a shopping cart, and you're not carrying any cash. At Aldi, a quarter is the key to unlocking the grocery kingdom. Forget about the days when shopping carts roamed free like wild stallions. Aldi has a different strategy, a quarter for cart trade that leaves you either digging through your pockets like a treasure hunter or shamelessly asking fellow shoppers for a spare coin. It's a rite of passage, a ritual dance with the shopping cart gods. The first time you encounter this peculiar Aldi tradition, you might feel a mix of confusion and amusement, or you might just be really irritated. Some places nickel and dime you, but only Aldi is brazen enough to quarter you.
Come on, Miss Chico, a quarter.
Still, it's important to note that you will get the quarter back when you return the cart, so it makes some sense, as the system encourages people to bring their carts back rather than leaving them strewn all over the parking lot. That means Aldi doesn't need to employ someone to corral carts, which equals fewer overheads for Aldi and bigger savings for you. Frequent Aldi shoppers know it isn't always guaranteed that you'll find what you're looking for. If you're used to shopping in bigger, more well-stocked supermarkets, as you browse the aisles, you quickly realize that the odds of finding everything on your list aren't in your favor, and that often means going to a second grocery store to supplement your Aldi buys. Most Aldi enthusiasts have mastered the art of the dual shop shuffle. You might snag your pantry essentials, dairy, and snacks at Aldi, and then go to another store for your produce or brand names. As long as you don't expect Aldi to be the only stop on your grocery shopping trip, you can manage your expectations. Go in knowing that you'll need to hit another store after, and it won't feel like a blow. You've made your grocery list and clipped your coupons when you realize that Aldi doesn't accept them. In this time of extreme couponing and discount dreams, Aldi stands firm in its own pricing strategy. And unfortunately, that strategy means no coupons. The question is, why? Turns out there's a good reason behind it. Aldi's no coupon policy is a nod to simplicity and transparent pricing. They believe that even without coupons, you're practically guaranteed a less expensive shopping trip at Aldi due to lower base prices that are already a steal. Plus, Aldi does weekly discounts on a range of products across the store. Keeping an eye on these is the best way to save more money at Aldi. At Aldi, the only consistency is the delightful unpredictability of the shelves. You never know exactly what you'll find and what you won't. One week, the zucchinis are stacked to the heavens, and the next, it's a zucchini desert. Shopping at Aldi is a thrilling journey through a landscape where the offerings are as unpredictable as a weather forecast in spring. You might walk in one day, envisioning a stack of blueberry pancakes, only to be offered the choice of strawberries, raspberries, and nothing else. It's not just that Aldi doesn't always have what you're looking for, it's that they often don't even have the same thing you just bought there on your last trip, which can make it quite difficult to plan your grocery shopping. As annoying as it can be, though, it might be helpful to flip the perspective. The ever-changing landscape of Aldi's offerings is an invitation to embrace culinary spontaneity, to try new recipes, and to savor the joy of unexpected discoveries. So next time the shopping list feels like a game of chance, remember, the spice of life is variety, and Aldi has a lot of it, even if they might not have the actual spice you went there to buy. You've probably noticed that Aldi isn't like other supermarkets in the shelf stocking department. Rather than having someone stack each item on its shelves, products are displayed in the outer packaging they came in. For most items, this means cardboard boxes with the perforated fronts ripped off for easier access. Not the most elegant solution, but fine. However, sometimes this makes certain products harder to get to. For instance, packages of toilet paper are stacked in larger plastic packages. If you're the first one on the scene, you'll need to tear through that outer packaging to get to the smaller packages of TP inside, so it's not as easy as just grabbing a stack off the shelf. You have to work for it. And let's not forget the aesthetics. Most Aldi stores look a tad less like a pristine grocery haven and more like a crowded warehouse. The display boxes, while practical for restocking efficiency, can leave the store looking a bit like a toddler's playroom after a particularly chaotic playdate. But once again, there's a method to the madness, as everything at Aldi's is designed to keep costs down. The less time workers need to spend on displays, the less Aldi's needs to pay their workforce, a savings that helps keep prices down.
Fewer members of staff to stack the shelves. For you, it's a lower cost.
The old adage when it comes to selling is that location is the most important thing. Location, location, location. But Aldi's is the exception to the rule. With Aldi's, your quest for budget-friendly groceries sometimes takes you to the far reaches of town. As you embark on the journey to your local Aldi, you can't help but wonder if you're on a grocery run or a suburban expedition. Yes, convenience is in the eye of the beholder, and sometimes your nearest Aldi feels like it's on the outskirts of civilization. The inconvenience of Aldi store locations is real. They're rarely near other stores you frequent, frequent and more likely to be on the edge of town with little else of note around. It's the price you pay for those pocket-friendly prices and the Aldi treasure trove. But once again, Aldi chalks even this up to their attempts to keep prices down, so they can pass the savings on to you. Weird locations in the middle of nowhere mean that real estate prices are lower. So embrace the scenic route, enjoy the drive, and you might even discover charming corners of your town you never knew existed.